Get invited out by your young friends.
Well, I'm not sure if I would call them friends.
They're our kids.
Yeah.
Next live, move over, Mark. Ryan Seacrest joins Kelly as a guest host with Denai Guerrera.
It's been a while since we saw you here.
I was like, oh, we have got to do this show.
Plus, Linda Cardellini and Louis Tomlinson performs.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. Send your weather-related photos or video to the WDAY Storm Tracker team. Contact weather@wday.com or share them with us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping an eye on the sky. The WDAY Storm Tracker team.
To learn more, please visit eifcares.org.
You're watching WDAY Extra. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something. Is
Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Dom Izzo.
Good morning, everyone. It's officially the start of summer. It is a beautiful day outside in North Dakota. Dom Izzo is out for one final day. His week of vacation is coming to end. You guys got to bear with me for 2 more hours. Thank you, everyone, for watching Hot Mic all week long. I'm Logan Campbell filling in for Dom. We have a packed show today. I'm really excited about this guest lineup, so let's just get straight into it. Why don't we? So, first up, we have Jared Franek. I talked to him yesterday, and lots of times when we hear about people entering the transfer portal, we don't hear from them. We don't get to understand why they're entering, and he was very kind, and he came in and told me why he was deciding to leave. So it was great to get that insight. Spencer Waege, who is in town, he was picked up by the San Francisco 49ers during undrafted free agency back in April. One of the first calls they made after the draft was over. So he is in town. He will join me live in studio. So excited to catch up with him. I haven't seen him since before the draft, so I'm sure he has lots of great stories about his time out in California. In case you didn't know, it's been Roger Maris week all week long here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Roger Maris Jr. will come in and join me live in studio. I know he's so busy, so I really appreciate him giving us just 15 minutes of his time to talk about what this week means to him and his family. So I'm excited to talk with him. It's Wednesday, which means Dick Bremer will come on the show to talk about the Twins. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about them. They're not doing too hot. Really not doing too hot. So hopefully he can share some insights about what's going on over in Minneapolis. And then late last night, NDSU football got another commit. This time it's a quarterback from Illinois, Ryan Bowe. He will join me. He told me he's in the car driving back from Fargo. So he's going to join me while he's driving back. So I'm excited to get to know him and see why he picked NDSU, because he had a couple of options. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. Okay, so like I was saying, last week news came out that Jared Franek and Michael Caliendo, both All-American wrestlers for NDSU, were entering the transfer portal. And then over the weekend, it came out that both of them were going to Iowa. So, you know, with football, like I was saying, basketball, you see these players post these messages to fans and teams just saying they're entering the transfer portal, but don't really dive into the reasons why. So I was just curious to see if either of them would come in and just talk to me a little bit about it and just share some insights in their thought process. And Jared Franek was so kind, came in for a good amount of time yesterday. So take a listen to this exclusive interview I was able to get with Jared Franek. We were just talking, you're entering your 6th year of wrestling. First of all, what made you want to continue in such a aggressive sport?
Yeah, I mean, going into this whole, obviously, these weird times with the COVID year, a lot of wrestlers got a 6th year, and as you said, it's, I mean, super intense sport, and a lot of guys' bodies are beat up, but I'm pretty fortunate to be healthy enough to compete still, so that's a big thing for me, and as well as, you know, I came off my best year yet, so I said, why not, you know, give it one more shot to win the title, and while I'm still healthy, while I'm wrestling my best, I might as well. I think I'd regret down the road if I didn't take that last year.
So you are going into your last year. You said coming off your most successful season, but you're going to continue at Iowa. Mm-hmm. First of all, what went into your decision to transfer?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of go into it, but you know, I did 5 years at NDSU. I got, you know, undergrad degree I graduated with, and just graduated with my master's. So the schooling aspect, I did the 2 degrees, you know, I came to do in my 5 years before COVID was a thing. Obviously, there was a coaching change, but that we lost 3 of our 4 coaches down to Oklahoma. That wasn't the only aspect. I mean, I still talk to those coaches. I'm very close with all 4 of them. So there's no bad blood there. They're going to do great things down there. Obi's going to take over NDSU and do great things here. So there's a lot of respect between me and the coaches on that aspect. But yeah, just, I mean, going to Iowa kind of, they just came off, you know, finishing number 2 in the country. So they're a very good program right now. They have the history behind them. Just kind of being on a good team with, you know, really good coaches, really good partners. Obviously, what I want to do, my only goal left is to win a title. And yeah, so they kind of had everything I was looking for, if that makes sense, in the process. But yeah, I'm excited to get going, move down there here before school starts and get training. So.
When did you initially start thinking that you wanted to transfer? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, the coaching news kind of came out of nowhere. We didn't really see it coming, a lot of us. So initially, you kind of, your mind's kind of fogged up those first few days after, not really knowing what's going on. And I was able to process it, you know, over the next week. And since I think, yeah, we had like a 30-day extra period since he left to get in the portal before it closed for us. So we had a few weeks to make that decision. So I took like a week or 2 kind of to really think about it and kind of compare my options here and figure out what was best for me in my last year and trying to accomplish my goals. So yeah, it took a few weeks, but then I kind of decided transferring was probably my best route.
So what were your options?
I looked at a lot of schools that I had originally looked at, I guess. I mean, there was Nebraska was an option, Iowa was an option, going down to follow coaches, Oklahoma was an option. Obviously staying at NDSU was still an option as well. And then, I mean, the first day there was probably 15 or so schools that reached out, but you know, just being where I am and knowing what I'm looking for as a 6-year guy, there was only a few that I really kept contact with and wanted to go down on visits. And I went on a visit to Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Iowa. So
during the season, did any of these coaches contact you?
No.
Okay,
no.
Just after?
Yeah.
Okay, so what were the initial conversations? Did they just reach out to you once you entered the portal, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I got in and yeah, immediately pretty much got phone calls that first day from a ton of schools, but notably, Nebraska and Iowa, and then obviously the Oklahoma coaches as well, called me and just kind of see where I was at with things, see if they're, you know, a place that I'll actually consider, and then try to set up a date to go down there and see it for myself and, you know, meet the guys, meet the coaches, see facilities and stuff like that.
Being a hometown kid and finding success at your home college, did any part of you want to stay at NDSU after this past season? Yeah, for sure. I mean, NDSU's given me, you know, a lot. Like I said before, I mean, I invested everything into what I had here at NDSU, and the coaches that, you know, bought into me, they put in the time to help develop me.
and all that. So that was very hard. I mean, I'm very close with a lot of the guys on the team and the coaches that were there the last few years. So I felt that we built up. You know, I was a big piece of it as well, you know, building, just a hometown kid, kind of getting the support of the local people and building the program into a top 15 program like we did this last year. I know I had a lot to play in with that factor, but they also invested a lot into me to get the team and myself to that position. So yeah, it's hard leaving. There's a lot of relationships and things that, you know, I mean, I'm not going to be around those people every day, but, you know, the people that support me and that I'm close with and we have respect with, where I'm at and who I wrestle for is not going to change.
So when you were in the deciding process of which school you wanted to go to, obviously you said Iowa finished second in the country, but what about their coaching staff and their program stood out to you that made them the clear choice for you? Yeah, just, I mean, their coaches, the Brands brothers, are super intense. I kind of, you know, for me, I like to wrestle, you know, hard pace, you know, get guys really tired, kind of break them down, and my style kind of fit with the Iowa style wrestling. And their coaches obviously are super invested in their athletes. When you're a part of them, they'll do anything for you, have your back. So that was kind of cool to see that aspect of it. And then as far as like partners, just, you know, around my weight, there's a ton of guys that have had success and that were going to push me in different ways, that I could feel different things and I feel like could elevate my wrestling. So that was a big thing. And then yeah, just on top of that, the history behind Iowa, you know, Carver Hawkeye Arena, you're wrestling in front of 15,000 fans on average, and it's something I've never really experienced. So, I mean, all those things kind of play into the factor of wanting to wrestle for them and kind of making it my most logical decision. And Caliendo's going there as well.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk at all throughout this decision process about where you're thinking about going?
Yeah. I mean, we were in contact quite a bit, and obviously, me and him are very close. I've had the privilege to kind of help lead him as an older guy. He got here a young guy, kind of far from home and all those things. So I've had the process, you know, building him up and helping him get a lot better. And he's pushed me a ton too. He's really good. So that relationship kind of, obviously we wanted to keep if possible, you know, going to the same place and maintaining what we have, you know, back to back in the lineup and pushing each other every day. But I mean, we talked about it too. If we had, you know, our best options were separate places across the country, we were going to chase our best options. So as much as, you know, I wanted to stay with them, it was kind of about finding my best fit for my last year. And then it just so happened, yeah, for us that I think we both can do that at Iowa.
So when you both told each other you're going to pick Iowa, how pumped were the both of you? Yeah, I mean, we're both really excited. He's kind of here a lot of the summer too, and I am too, doing camps and things like that. So we're able to still train and do things like that together, and kind of not quite, you know, be around the guys yet consistently on a time frame, but I know that transition period, just the way we are and the way we operate, I don't think we'll have too hard of a time kind of adjusting, fitting into the mold of the guys there, and obviously having somebody that you trust and all that side by side with you going into it, it's going to be a lot more comfortable and easier of a transition. Definitely. And I'm curious about this just because it's such a new day in college sports, especially transferring with NIL. Mm-hmm. Did that have any effect in you leaving at all? Not necessarily leaving. I mean, obviously, you see it in all sports. It's kind of just hitting wrestling recently. Yeah. But to be honest, I had NIL opportunities in various routes here at all the schools I talked to, Nebraska, Iowa, Oklahoma, NDSU. So for me, it wasn't, I mean, I know kind of the ins and outs of wrestling after 5 years of it, and I know that an extra few dollars here isn't going to get you a national championship. So for me, it was, you know, that's a bonus. That's something I've never got to do, is, you know, be able to make money off of the hard work that I put in over all the years. So I'm definitely excited for that, but it wasn't a driving factor in my decision over, you know, the coaches, the partners, the atmosphere, stuff like that. What are some of the NIL opportunities you get down in Iowa? So I guess I'm not quite sure where it all comes from, but I know that, like, there's opportunities within, like, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club for me to do, like, camps
camps and do like deals with donors that have access to Iowa that you can do. I mean, a lot of them own like car dealerships, different business companies that you can do like commercials with. You can do advertisements, stuff like that, where there's a mutual. You're benefiting them, they're benefiting you on that side of it. So, I mean, when I get down there, there's going to be more discussions of that, obviously, but I just got to be enrolled in classes and stuff first, so I'm working on that process before I can even talk to them about that.
So you keep bringing up national championship. You want to win a national championship. What makes you think you'll be able to achieve that down in Iowa?
I mean, I've had this conversation with, my coaches the last few years, and my confidence has went up a lot in the last few years, and I think it had a big impact on my last season, just where I finished. And I thought I could, win a national championship anywhere, but just for the sake of Iowa, they've proven it. They've done it. They've had guys, many guys do it, and so have these other programs. But it's just about, where I thought I fit in the best in a lineup, with the style of wrestling, the coaches, the partners, all those things that'll help me reach that goal easier than these other places, if that makes sense.
You spent so much of your time here in Fargo. Are you nervous or excited to start this next chapter somewhere else?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, just being away from home, something that I've been very, very blessed with, being close to family, and having fans, that watch me in high school be the same fans that watch me in college. It's been pretty cool, but I'm excited as well, going to a new place, somewhere that welcomes wrestling, and wrestling's a huge thing at the University of Iowa. So I don't think I'll be too homesick, and I think I'll be able to, like I said, I got a guy like Mikey, and it'll just take me a few weeks to get to know the guys on the team. I know a few of them. There's a small town Valley City kid, North Dakota kid that's going as a freshman this year, so that'll be cool to have another kid from the state going there, and then some kids I wrestled in high school are there right now. So I know, guys, it's just going to be a little bit, anytime you go to a new job, a new team, there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period.
That's so nice. You're going to have a few familiar faces down there. Okay, so what's next for you?
Yeah, so right now, I mentioned earlier, just kind of applying for school, trying to figure out what route I want to go for that. Obviously, it's a one-year thing, so got to figure out if I'm going to go for a minor, a certificate. Like I said before, I had a grad degree, so if I'm going to go in as a graduate student or an undergrad, kind of figuring that out. Just talked with their academic advisor a little bit and trying to find what I'm going to apply for, and then applying, and then once I'm applied, then I can start moving forward with everything else and be officially a part of their team. So.
When are you supposed to get down there?
I'm planning to go down in July for a few weeks and train a little bit, but then I'll be back here. Got a few camps at the end of July, and then probably a week or two before school, I'll head down there for good.
Awesome. So, well, I appreciate you coming in and taking the time to talk with me. Good luck with everything going on for you this season.
Thank you.
So some interesting insight there on why he decided to transfer from NDSU to Iowa. When we were talking off camera, he said really the biggest thing was just wrestling in a big environment. Like he said, 15,000 people come to watch the wrestling matches. And he said that the equivalent of Iowa wrestling down there is the equivalent to NDSU football up here. And he said that that's something that he's always wanted to be a part of that environment. When he said that, it immediately made me think of this video that happened this past March. So Iowa's Spencer Lee was going for his 4th national championship, lost in the semifinals, and his mom was just beside herself, could not believe what she just saw. So mad, she literally crumpled up her glasses. How insane is that? I love it. I love it. When I have kids, I could 100% being me. I could 100% see that being me. That is immediately what I thought of, and I think that that is the best thing ever. So, him and Jared Franek and Michael Calienda will be down in Iowa. And I'm excited to see what they can do down there. Like he said, his one final goal for his 6th and final year of wrestling is to win a national championship. So hopefully he'll be able to accomplish his goal down there. We're going to take a quick break. We are way overdue for a break. When we come back, Spencer Waege will join me live in studio to catch us all up with everything in his NFL journey. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL.
Who let the dogs out? Laney's has, and the 2-for-Deal special is back. If your furnace and air conditioner are over 10 years old, it's possible they've gone to the dogs. They're more prone to roll over and break down, and they're also a lot less efficient. Let Laney's help you fetch a free air conditioner with their 2-for-Deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a qualifying Coleman high-efficiency furnace, you will receive a Coleman air conditioning unit free. Call Laney's for details. The dog days of summer will be here before you know it.
828 is just great.
On the next Tamron Hall, she's the actor and singer currently setting the internet on fire. Chloe Bailey is back with the Tam Fam, and a lot has happened since the last time she was on the show, to say the least. From her much talked about role in the show Swarm to her successful solo hits, Chloe Bailey is that girl. Plus how Chloe and Hallie continue to support each other as they take the world by storm. An intimate conversation with Chloe Bailey you don't want to miss next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
Doing what you can to survive is certainly a sign of the times. But there's other signs that aren't so easy to see. If you've ever earned money for the use of your body, have been given items in exchange for sexual favors, or worked long, labor-intensive hours for little to no pay, that's a sign you may be a victim of human trafficking. If you in any way have felt exploited, experienced paycheck withholding, or been abused, in an emergency, call 911. Visit ndhttf.org to learn all the signs.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day we encounter people who are having the worst day of their entire lives. Does it get any easier? Nope.
It takes a certain kind of person to run towards danger rather than run away from it.
Why is this job so important to you?
Growing up, I never saw any heroes who looked like me.
And that's what a hero looks like.
Help is on the way.
Sundays at 8 p.m.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report. Join me right here each weekend as we explore the news and issues that matter most to agriculture. We know each year farmers and ranchers are thrown challenges, but as agriculture continues to adapt, we are right there with you. From markets to weather, we take a deep dive into what matters most to agriculture and rural America.
Saturdays at 6 a.m.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found the path to recovery that worked for me. Treatment helped me come to terms with the issues in my life that caused me to use drugs. And I found better ways to cope. Learning I had a substance use disorder helped me realize I needed to make a change. The road to recovery is different for everyone. There were good days and bad days. But I found strength in seeking help. My friends and family made a huge difference in my recovery. I never gave up. I found my path, and I keep walking it every day. Find the path that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you all are having a great start to your Wednesday morning. Spencer Waege is on his way in. So now that leaves me with the art of having to stall. So Mike McFeely was on yesterday. We call him Kevin now, in case you missed that episode. And we talked about potential conference realignment. San Diego State told the Mountain West that they want out. They don't want to be there anymore. So that leaves a potential opening in the Mountain West for the past, since I've been here, and I'm sure it's been happening long before I've gotten here, there's always been talks about NDSU to the Mountain West. And Mike McFeely said now is the time to hop on it. He said if it doesn't happen now, it's going to be a little bit before real talks will start back up again. So he put out an article this morning. You can see it on inform.com. He talked to Matt Larson yesterday, and he straight up asked him, have you talked with Mountain West or any other conference? Matt said, I can't speak for everybody else at NDSU, Matt Larson, the athletic director up at NDSU, because he doesn't know, but to my knowledge, no. McFeely then asked him if the president, David Cook, has, and he said, not that he has told me, and I think he would tell me if he has. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is actually going to happen? This is actually going to be the time that NDSU does get that invite to the FBS? So that's the thing. You know, you could want to go to a conference. You could want to move up to the FBS all you want, but you can't go until you get an invite. Matt Larson also went on to say that the Mountain West has been one of the most stable conferences in college athletics for a long time. So I can't speculate what they're going to do. The last time there was major movement that they thought about adding, and they eventually decided we're going to stand pat. I think they like their geographic makeup, how they're composed. I think they liked where they were. The presidents liked where they were, and they decided not to do anything. That could very well be the same approach this go around. That's what Matt Larson said to Mike McFeely yesterday. Again, there's more in this article. I highly encourage everyone to go read it on inform.com. But I'm curious to see what happens. I personally think, and this is just what the vibes I'm getting, is that they need to make this jump for people to be just as interested in NDSU football as they were 5-10 years ago. I think this jump is needed to get the people in Fargo excited about NDSU football again. I'm not saying they're not excited, but they're not nearly as excited as they were 5 years ago. And that's from me talking with people who have lived. I know I've only lived here for 2 years, but you know, you can kind of pick up on how people are feeling pretty fast. And based off of conversations I've had with former players, with people that have worked here, with fans that have lived here their whole lives, if I worked in administration for NDSU, I'd be fighting hard for this push. And like I said, they can say and do all they want here at NDSU, but they can't actually do anything until they get that invite. And I think the biggest rub on it all is the location. You know, with the Mountain West, you're going to have 3 different time zones that you're playing in. That's a lot of travel, a lot of adjustments. But I think you need to make that move to FBS because, frankly, the FCS is just not as competitive as it used to be. You know what you're going to get heading into every season. So I say now is the time to really make that push. And that's my spiel of the day. Those are my 2 cents. But what do I know? What do I know? But hopefully, for the sake of the fans, some movement happens. But I think it'll be a few months before any movement happens. So, again, it's just a waiting game at this point. Okay, word is Spencer is here. So we're going to take a quick break, get him all settled in, and then we finally will be able to catch up with him. You're watching Hot Mic on WDY Extra and KSFL.
Disney Princess the Concert, live July 11th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. Part of the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
On the next Tamron Hall, she's the actor and singer currently setting the internet on fire. Chloe Bailey is back with the Tam Fam, and a lot has happened since the last time she was on the show, to say the least. From her much talked about role in the show Swarm to her successful solo hits, Chloe Bailey is that girl. Plus how Chloe and Hallie continue to support each other as they take the world by storm. An intimate conversation with Chloe Bailey you don't want to miss next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@wday.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday this week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfilled. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
Shine Down with Saint Asonia and Sleep Theory, live July 14th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are pulling a little switcheroo because we have someone very special here in studio, and we want to make sure that he's so busy going all over the place this week. Roger Maris Jr. now joins me live in studio. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on, Logan.
Welcome back to Fargo. If you could just grab the microphone, just move it a little bit closer to your mouth.
So you really want to hear me clear?
We really want to hear you and everything you have to say.
Must have some good stuff to say then. All right.
As always, so it's Roger Maris Week. How important?
All-Star Week.
All-Star Week. How important is that for you?
Well, it's very important for us because it's, we've been running our golf tournament now for 39 years, and that's been a big success for us. But we just felt we could do more, and so we really just wanted to pivot and try to get the kids involved because the kids were something that was super important to my dad, to see them being active and involved. And he was a baseball player, so we have the Roger Maris Invitational at the end of the week also, too, for the kids. But Yeah, just get the kids involved, get the kids active, and we joined forces with Sanford to make that happen, and so it's been good. And we started the Roger Maris Academy for the girls and boys club at the Red River Valley, and our whole concept there was to provide them with advocates and mentors, and try to teach them life skills. And we take them around the community and show them different businesses and stuff like that, and just try to expose them as much as we can so they can help find their path to success later on in life. And just a lot happening this week, from clinics to, we have a home run derby with the baseball. We got baseball tournament at the end of the week. And then we have the cool thing really is we got a 61 Roger Maris home run derby out at Starion Field, which I have an Aaron Judge ball that we're going to be giving away on the Saturday night. Yeah, so anybody who wants to come out there can come out there, just take a ticket, and we'll put the ticket into a big box. And when the home run derby concludes, we're going to pull a ticket out, and we're going to have a winner for an Aaron Judge ball. The only caveat is you have to be there to win. So that's exciting. And then, this obviously, the great things going on at the Roger Maris Cancer Center. That's a big thing for us to, continue to let people know all the wonderful things happening over there. Obviously, inside, we're doing amazing things with our research, education, training, technology, and the world-class services. But really what's going on outside the Cancer Center with all the great stories being told by people who have been inside the Cancer Center, been treated, to all the things that are happening when they leave, because I constantly get things on social media. I get letters, I get phone calls with just wonderful things that are taking place inside the Cancer Center and outside the Cancer Center with the people leaving and their treatments.
It's really awesome what you guys are doing here. And you talk a lot about getting the kids involved, and that's one of the newer parts about Roger Maris All-Star Week. Why is getting and being with the kids such a big part of your dad's legacy? Well,
for one, he loved kids, and for two, I think, those are formative years for the kids, so not only do we want to get them at the sports clinics, but, we have a message too, it's all, what is a Roger Maris All-Star? So when these kids are out there, we're not just teaching them the sports stuff, we're trying to teach them some life values. And so to my dad, the three things that were big to him is all about working hard, competing, and being a good teammate. And we just feel like if we can instill those things in those kids, then and they can embody that and then move forward in life. We feel like even at home that works. We feel like it works in sports. We feel like it works in life. So if they can do those three things and focus on those three things each and every day, I think it'll help them on their path to success later on in life.
Definitely. And it's a week full of events. Is there a favorite event that you like? Oh, I know.
Yeah. I really like it all. The golf's fun, but, getting out there and seeing the kids, and, we bring, celebrities out there to the camps, and, we got NDSU players out there too. And, as a little kid, seeing an NDSU player, a high school football player, or a celebrity, it just means a lot to those kids. And I think they listen to what we have to say because of that. So, it's just fun watching the whole thing. And then Monday we're at the academy. My daughter was over there doing interactive things with the kids at the academy and just getting them involved and just seeing what they're doing over there, which has been really amazing. And it's just been a fun week and just something to look really forward to each year.
Yeah, so many different events to go to. And you talk about how it's nonstop. You're showing up. Like you said, your daughter's showing up. Pretty much everyone in your family is coming back for these events. Why is it so important for you guys to show face at these events?
Well, we just feel like, being here just shows like we care, and anything we can do to help spread Dad's legacy, to help spread the word of the great things happening at the Cancer Center and all the wonderful things they're doing now. They have the cellular therapy program that they have started doing here a couple of years ago, which enables people to stay here in Fargo and not have to travel to get those treatments. And that's a really, really big thing, because when you have to travel like that, it gets very expensive, and you have to spend time away from home. And so the time, the money, and just the stress alone of having to deal with the disease of cancer is hard enough. So I think all those things and all just kind of just makes you want to come back up here. And then when you get the people calling you and telling you how great things are, it just incentivizes you to come back.
We were talking off air, and you told me that you live down in Florida, but you come back for this. What makes coming back to Fargo so special for you?
Well, Dad grew up here for one. Mom grew up here. I had family. We got family here. There's the Roger Maris Museum, the Roger Maris Drive. Golf tournament's been running for 39 years. We've got so many friends and so many people here in Fargo that have been so supportive of everything we've done up here for the last 39 years. So kind of makes it easy to make this your second summer home, per se, to be up here and get involved and make some good things happen.
You talk about how much this All-Star Week has grown over the past few years. What is the future of this All-Star Week?
Well, the funny thing is, we started the golf tournament, and most golf tournaments run max a good golf tournament in 5 years, and then they just kind of peter out. But we've done that for 39 years, pushing almost 4 decades. And my kids weren't even. My daughter's 31; she wasn't even around. So it's just funny that it just means a lot to be able to come up here and make all that happen for the for over the years to just continue to do the things we're doing, and now to have the All-Star Week in its 3rd week, and we're touching all the kids, the new generation that's coming through, and they're learning about Roger Maris cancer. They're learning values. They're learning about cancer. They're learning so many things and the messages we're getting out, I think, are all good and just going to help these kids as they go forward.
Mm-hmm. You talk about how all the kids are talking about Roger Maris and learning about your dad, but he was a huge topic of conversation last baseball season with Aaron Judge chasing his record. What was that like for you as a son, just hearing your dad constantly talked about in the news again?
Well, it's always good to keep him in the news cycle. I mean, not just for that, but, what we're trying to do up here. So, we have the Roger Maris Cancer Center. So anytime the name Roger Maris goes out, it just helps and resonates, obviously, here in Fargo, and kind of helps with what we're trying to do because, we're trying to continue to move with the Cancer Center and everything else. And, we started this thing 32 years ago, and we were just trying to take care of the people of Fargo with cancer. And then as time has gone on, we've taken care of the region. And then as time's gone on even more, we're kind of knocking down the door to becoming a national destination for cancer care. So it's gotten big. And so, as soon as every time Dad's name can be mentioned for whatever cause it might be, and if we can tie it into the Cancer Center and the good we're doing up here, it just makes it that much better.
You talk about it becoming national. How many people reach out about potentially traveling to Fargo to get this care?
Well, people are coming, and I don't have a percentage on that, but it's just funny how the Roger Maris name has kind of helped a lot of things, because I was at the museum doing a photo shoot the other day, and we're doing an interview, and these 2 guys were standing there at the end and kind of just staring at me. So I went and introduced myself to them and asked them what are they from or whatever, and they actually were from Northern California. The son had a job to do in Minnesota, and so the dad wanted to come because he wanted to come to the Roger Maris Museum.
Wow.
Yeah, so they came from Northern California to Minnesota on his day off, drove to the museum just to see the museum. So it just goes to show you that, the word is getting out, and people know what we're doing up here with the Cancer Center, and, we're heading in the right direction for sure.
When you meet people like that and hear stories about how far people travel just to see stuff about your dad, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's obviously a great feeling, that Dad made an impact on people like he did, and, so that's very touching to us to know that.
Mm-hmm. Last week, 9 people were charged with the crime that happened back in 2016, stealing your dad's items from the museum. When you heard that verdict, how did that make you and your family feel?
Well, it gives us some closure, because we didn't really know what was going on. We knew it had been broken into and the items had been taken, but we didn't really know what what was going to happen, or we were going to get it back, not get it back. But, so it gives us closure for that, and you got to thank the law enforcement for the time, energy, and effort that they put in to make this happen. And, the good thing, like I say to people, we did lose 2 items. Thank God it was only 2 items. One was Dad's MVP from 1960, but fortunately he was good enough to win 2 MVPs. So we have one sitting right next to that one that's an actual legit one, and the other one's just a cardboard cutout that looks really almost just like a real one anyway. And same with the Hickok belt, we have that it looks just like the original one, even though it's not, but it looks like it is. So there's just so many good things at the museum and so many cool things we have over there anyway. It's disappointing, and I don't know why people do what they do, but, life goes on, and we'll continue to, go on and just move forward from what happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again,
Hopefully it doesn't. And just the impact, like you said, is long-lasting more than just those items are. Growing up and being able to say, hey, my dad's Roger Maris, how cool was that?
Yeah, it was cool. It's funny in the beginning, you're a little kid, you don't really think much of it, but as you get a little older and you kind of see what's happening, it's, I grew up, obviously around him, but when he played for New York, we didn't go to New York. And New York's a whole new animal with sports people. And so for us, we were actually in Missouri. And then when he started playing for the Cardinals his last 2 years, I'd run around the ballpark all the time and go spend the summers there and everything else. And, obviously it's a big deal there, but St. Louis has a little different outlook on the way they treat people and stuff. They're a little more, calm about the way they do things. But then I remember going to New York with him a little bit later on, and he was like a rock star. We could go nowhere. People would spot him. We'd be hounded. And once one person comes, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, and it's just like he couldn't even move. We had to be moving people out of the way. So, yeah, then you're like, wow, Dad's pretty important. It's like, so, yeah. Because, it's just common for us every day in St. Louis. But New York, I mean, he was just so big in New York, and the way they go up there, it was a cool experience for sure.
You're like, wow, this is not what every other kid has to
do. He's like, well, I knew he was big, but I didn't realize, like, wow, like he's really big, you know. So
that's so interesting that you got to grow up that way. So what's on the agenda for you today?
Well, we just left the cancer center and spent some time with them over there talking about things, all the great things happening there, and then we got a luncheon today with the Girls and Boys Club of Red River Valley. It's their annual banquet over there, and then we're going to take the kids bowling. And then tonight we're going to the Red Hawks Stadium out there, and we got 61 commemorative Roger Maris hats we're going to be giving away out there for the first 61 people that show up tonight. And, so we're looking forward to having a great day, great night, and then kicking off with some golf tomorrow, and then the baseball tournament on Friday, and Matt Cullen's hockey camp, and then we got the Aaron Judge baseball 61 Roger Maris home run derby on Saturday night. So yeah, we got a lot left.
Busy week.
We're not even halfway done.
Not even halfway done, which is just crazy. I'm gonna have to make it out to a few events.
You need to, Logan.
I know. I will, especially the Aaron Judge one.
Yeah, there you
really
go. You
cool.
might be a lucky winner.
I know. We'll have to wait and see. Roger, I really appreciate you coming
thanks
in
for
and
having
giving
me
us
on.
time.
Absolutely.
If you guys have time this week, definitely go and check out some of the Roger Maris All-Star Camp, All-Star Week events. Such a great cause. So I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy, so we'll send you on your way. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Spencer Waege will join me in studio. You're watching Hot Mic on WDY Extra and KSFL.
She knew doing the documentary with George and I, she would be protected.
Allie Wentworth gets intimate about her eye-opening documentary on Brooke Shields.
It's crazy, the life she's lived, and she's only mid-50s.
Then,
the biggest secret weapon that I have.
Over 50 Club, listen up. Mally Roncal's timeless makeup tips are worth every second. Plus, a simple salad supper. Next, Rachel.
Weekdays at 3 on WDAY.
From harvesting the grain, to the brewing, to the bottling, to shipping, crafting the perfect beer is hard work. Selecting it, that's easy at Happy Harry's Bottle Shops.
The summer stock-up sale is on now through June 21st.
Please use our products in moderation.
Today, 1 in 5 working-age Americans has a mental health condition.
People in all types of jobs and at all levels.
And the key to helping us succeed is a supportive and inclusive workplace.
All of us have a role to play in making that happen.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can listen and be a source of support to my colleagues.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
I can offer all employees the supports they need to deliver on the job, for the team
and for the business.
What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others
that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Mental health-friendly workplaces are more important than ever.
And all of us have a role to play in promoting them.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Are you a great pie baker? If so, we'd like to consider you for the second annual Home of Economy Grand Forks Herald Pie Bake-Off, a 16-person tournament that seeks to find the best bakers in the greater Grand Forks region. Last year's winner took home $1,000. Will you be the next champion? The award-winning Pie Bake-Off will begin in August and will be judged by a panel that includes professional chefs. To be considered, send an email to pie@gfherald.com or call 701-780-1100.
By popular demand, the West Fargo Drink Card is back. The West Fargo Drink Card gets you 4 drinks each at 13 participating West Fargo area bars and restaurants. The card value is $364. Your price, just $60. The West Fargo Drink Card goes on sale Thursday, June 22nd at 8 a.m. To get yours, head to WDAY.com and click on the Deals tab. Purchase limit 5 cards per person. Some restrictions apply. The West Fargo Drink Card, on sale Thursday, June 22nd at 8 a.m. at WDAY.com. Click on the Deals tab.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. Hello, I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. Please request our free guide filled with facts about dementia and ways you can keep your brain as healthy as possible. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. You want to live your life to the fullest, and we can help.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We finally have Spencer Waege on in studio. Only 30 minutes past when I thought we were going to have you on. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome back to North Dakota.
Yeah, thank you.
How's it feel to be back?
Feels good. It's nice to get back and kind of see a familiar place and a bunch of familiar faces.
Yeah, so you have been out in San Francisco, which, first of all, before the draft started, we had the chance to go down and spend a day and just to see what your life was like. And I cannot picture you live in San Francisco in a big city at all. How has it been for you?
It's been good. I mean, when I was out there for OTAs and minicamp, I mean, we didn't really, all of our time was, basically spent at the stadium, at the facility, doing our practices, our workouts and all that stuff, meetings. So didn't really get a lot of time to get out and kind of wander and see the city and stuff. But, from the area that I saw, I mean, I really like it. It's a really pretty area and, just super nice weather out there.
So I went to San Francisco back in March, and it was a lot different than what I expected because I expected it to be like super dirty, lots of homeless people. But the parts I saw wasn't like that. But what did you think when you first landed?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was a super pretty area, too, just seeing all the mountains around and just being that close to the bay and the ocean. I mean, like I said, I was, kind of when we were coming in the land, I was just kind of looking around, just looking at the scenery because obviously it's a lot different than what we're used to seeing around here.
Because there's water like all over the place too there. Yeah.
Yep, water, the mountains. So like I said, it was really different to see, but it was, really cool too.
Yeah. So you told me that you're going to show up in your Pearl snaps into that locker room. Did you do that?
I did not. That's saving that for, hopefully a game day fit or something like that.
Okay. What's it been like playing with professionals at the NFL level?
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's really it's really cool. It's been a great experience so far, but like the first day of OTAs when, all the vets and everything was back, like you're seeing guys, like George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, walk into the locker room. And it's just like, guys that, you've been used to having on like your fantasy teams over the years.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that they're your teammates. So, I mean, it's really kind of like that first day was really like, oh my gosh, like that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And, just trying to, not kind of, show that like you're like a big fan of them as a player and stuff, and just trying to be as professional about everything as you can. And then as the days went on and like practices went, then you kind of just realize like, okay, these are just like everyone else. They're just it's just a regular like locker room setting. They're guys want to joke around, have fun and stuff. So it's just been great out there.
What has it been like being back with Trey?
Yeah, no, that's been sweet. That was one of the first dudes that I saw when I got there, and he gave me a big welcome and was glad that I was out there having our bison out there. And it's just been, cool to be being teammates with him again.
You mentioned Kittle and McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. Are they nice people?
Oh, super nice people. So, I mean, I've talked to George probably more than Christian, and all the conversations we had, I mean, it's all been just kind, genuine. He really takes the time to like try and get to know his rookies, so it's been really great.
When I've talked with former college players that make it to the professional level, everyone tells me you're just thrown into the fire. What's been the hardest part adjustment-wise for you?
Yeah, so, I mean, you're definitely thrown right into the fire. And, I mean, it's just because when we went out there for OTAs, I mean, thankfully we had a bunch of, kind of like Zoom meetings and things like that before I got out there to kind of get a good grasp of the playbook. So that didn't completely catch me off guard. Because, like, we got out there for OTAs and, you're rolling through the Indy with all these vets and guys that have been doing it for a really long time and doing it really well. And then you get to the team setting. And yeah, we're not running through a bunch of crazy things in the playbook, but you need to know kind of like the basic of the playbook and, be able to execute that really well. So, and, like I said, you're going against guys that have been in the league for a long time now. And so just kind of, getting past that stage, like, okay, just because I'm a rookie, no one's going to, that don't matter anymore. You're here, you're expected to perform.
Wow. Is it hard or easy to learn the playbook? And how many hours do you spend studying it, do you think?
Yeah, so I think it kind of depends a lot on position. Obviously, me learning the playbook is a lot different than Trey when he had to learn the playbook.
Right.
So from a D-line perspective, thankfully there was some carryover with things from NDSU to the 49ers. The biggest thing really was just learning the terminology because end of the day, it's a lot of the same movements, same, technique with, obviously slight changes here and there. It's just trying to figure out the terminology that, oh, they call this, but in Fargo, we called it this. So just kind of like deferring that. But then that also was good because then it kind of like helped me remember things like, oh, what was this? And I was like, oh, that's right. We called it this in Fargo. So, it's just kind of things like that. And then as far as studying, I mean, I try to at least set aside an hour or two every day just to kind of go through the playbook, make sure I'm, good on everything that we have in, and then also kind of take time and watch some film and then actually physically see it being done too.
That's crazy. And I was actually talking with someone yesterday. You have to be so smart to play football. I don't know how you guys can memorize all these different plays. It's just mind-blowing to me. Your rookie class, tell us a little bit about them and some of the guys you've gotten close with over the past few months.
Yeah, so they've all been, really good. It's kind of, it's like you came into college again. You're around a bunch of new faces. That's, like you said, your class, kind of the guys that, they tell you to get close to and kind of like rely on each other type of thing. And I mean, for me, Joey Fisher is one of them. He was a UDFA lineman that came out of Shepherd. And, I've probably got pretty fairly close with him and have talked with him a lot. Jake Moody, the kicker they drafted from Michigan, him and me talk all the time. So, and then like Robert Beal, the other defensive lineman they drafted, I've chatted with him and obviously have all my meetings and stuff, spent a lot of time with him. I know we've spent a lot of time studying the playbook and stuff together. So, I mean, everyone that they brought in is, great people, and it just kind of reflects back to the organization that, kind of similar to Fargo, they're going to bring in the people that fit that organization, fit that mold, and, that are high character people.
What is the coaching style like out there, and how is it different from NDSU?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because, I mean, coming from here with having Coach Buda and Coach Gazer, I mean, they can be really intense coaches, but that's probably not like their like whole personality. Mm-hmm. And then going now to the 49ers and having Coach Kasarik, who is, been in the league for 15 years coaching D-line and is passionate about D-line. That's literally all he cares about. And that dude will yell and scream. Like everyone that like talked to me when I got out there, like, oh, you've been around Coach K much, or how do you like Coach K so far? And I mean, I personally like it because I love how intense he is. I love how like hard he coaches you because he truly just wants the best for all of his guys, all of his players. And it's his goal, to get the best out of you that he can. So, and he's going to do that which way possible. And just for him, it's, he's going to yell at you. He's going to scream in your face. He's going to be intense. And, and he's doing that not just to be, a dick and just yell at you. He's doing it because he knows what type of player you can be. And like, he knows how to get that out of you.
Such a crazy adjustment. Cordell, when he first was drafted, he told us a little bit about the rookie duties that he had to do. Mm-hmm. Have you had to experience that yet?
Not yet. It sounds like training camp that's going to kick in a little more. I know when we start training camp, so there's a little fridge in the D-line meeting room, and then we got to go out for training camp now. And we already have to keep that stocked with water and everything, and we got to do that through camp in the season. But then for training camp, me and the other rookie, Rob, we have to go out and we got to get seeds and chew and just all these different snacks for meetings. And we got to get this like little container thing to keep them all in. And we got to keep that stocked. And so like all these old vets, they're telling us what they want. And some of them want special bottles of water and some of them want special kinds of seeds and just all this stuff that we got to do for them. But, it's just kind of like I said, rookie dues that you got to do.
That's not too bad, though, compared to some of the things Cordell has had to do. That's not too bad.
It's not terrible. And I mean, like, and I'm sure there's going to be kind of just more things that happen throughout training camp and as the season plays out. But yeah, so far it's not too bad. They've told us like they're not big into, hazing their rookies and doing all that stuff. I know there's going to be we have a rookie talent show, I think one of those first weeks of training camp. And then
what are you going to do?
I have no idea.
Better start thinking.
I know. I got to figure that out. I was talking to Jake about it and trying to figure, because he was kind of in the same boat, like, dude, what are we going to do? And I'm just like, I don't know. So we've been talking. We've got some ideas going around, but yeah, we got to figure something out for that.
You're going to have to come back on and tell us how that goes once that happens. Like you said, training camp will be here before you know it. Are you looking forward to that? Are you nervous about it?
I mean, yes and no. Like, obviously, like, really looking forward to it because that's going to be, where you really go and, like, prove yourself. Pads are on. Really kind of show kind of, like, what skills you have. Obviously, there's going to always be that kind of, like, nervous butterflies in the stomach type of thing for it just because it's something new. It's, something you never gone through. You don't really know 100% how the routine was. Because I know, like, here in Fargo, when we would go through fall camp, I mean, by my second year, just after you did it once, like, you knew what to expect. You knew how to do everything. and you didn't feel like just a new kid on the street. So it's just one of those things. The first one of anything is going to be, a little different just because you're not used to it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what you're going to accomplish in San Francisco. We all know you're going to do big things out there. Spencer, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
good to see you. Glad we were able to make some time to squeeze it in while you're
absolutely.
here in town. All right, Spencer, Waege, everyone. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Dick Bremer will join me to talk about the Twins. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Inform.com.
Leonard Skinnard with special guest the Cadillac 3, live July 15th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Stay prepared for the days and nights ahead with the best weather team. Download the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team, with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today. Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@wday.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday this week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is going to be Addie's room.
I am blind.
You really gonna like it?
I hope so. Yeah. I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
The way it's down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know this road is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me.
You got lots of money over here.
I want to go for it.
So do I. Let's do it.
You bet your life.
Give me the money. All righty. $5,000.
Boosting the economy.
You seriously asking me this question, Jay? Coney Island. What are we doing over here?
Every weekday.
Yeah, give me that money. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give it to you like an Italian uncle. Here you go. You get yourself a little something there. There you go. Right there.
Weekdays at 3:30 p.m.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's alive. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
Any real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Dan and Shay with special guest Kip Moore, live on July 7th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic on the networks of WDAY. Here's Don Izzo.
A drive to left field. He has done it again. And a leaping catch on the warning track. Got it.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Wednesday, which means Dick Bremer now joins us on the show to talk everything Twins. Dick, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
We're doing okay. We're like a lot of Twins fans. We're frustrated with how the team is playing. Opportunity during this homestand to kind of reclaim yourself as a contender and a team that to be reckoned with, but it hasn't happened. We got 2 more games here with Boston and then a very, very tough road trip coming up.
That's for sure, Dick. Tell us, what are the vibes inside the clubhouse after this last stretch of games?
Well, very frustrating for the players, too. We have to remind ourselves, I think, that the first couple of weeks of the year, this team looked like it was going to be a World Series contender. They were 6 games above the 500 mark, but in reality, the last few months, they just haven't played to that level ever since. They've won the season series with the Yankees. They played the Blue Jays toe-to-toe. They won the season series with Houston. But something's not clicking, and I think we all know what it is. The lineup just isn't producing runs, and they're at a stage right now where tonight I think it's very important for them to score the first run and play with the lead, because during this homestand, they haven't had many of them.
Yeah, like you said, the Twins are in a little bit of an offensive rut. What do we need to see? What adjustments need to be made to spark and get this offense alive a little bit in this next game coming up?
Well, maybe we saw a sign of it last night. Byron Buxton got a base hit and then hit a home run. When a team is struggling, you look for your marquee players like Buxton and Correa to help lead you out of the rut that you're in. Correa hasn't hit much at all yet this year. 1 hit a game and a single, and sadly, if he goes 1 for 4, his average goes up. That's not good when he's your marquee player. So when those guys start hitting again, I think we'll see the other players in the lineup around them, in front of them, behind them, and all that. I think we'll see this lineup get going. It's frustrating because we're, almost halfway to the through the season already, and this lineup and the run production from it has been a huge, huge disappointment.
I'm curious to hear from you, Dick, from a broadcasting perspective. When you're in the booth and you have to call these games, what is that like for you?
Well, I think we accurately, I hope, gauge the sentiments of the fans and how frustrated they are. And we had a scoreless game through, 5 innings, I guess it was, or whatever it was. And then Bailey Ober gave up 2 solo home runs. And you have to fight the urge, whether you're a player or a fan or a broadcaster. Here we go again. That's why I said I think it's really important for this Twins team to score first. And they've got a really good pitcher in Sonny Gray going tonight. And if they can give him a little run support early on, I think that might start the turnaround.
What do we need to see from the pitchers on the mound moving forward for the rest of the season, do you think?
Well, the starters have been pretty good. Even Bailey Ober last night. That was a good start. 3 earned runs in 6 innings against a lineup that has really been on fire. So the starting pitching is fine. There's some issues in the bullpen. But the biggest issue, again, is, the lack of run production. They've scored, I think, now 60 runs in June, which isn't very good when you're now in the, 21st or whatever it is. That's not going to win you many ball games. And in this homestand, or at least in the Detroit series into this Boston series, they won 1 game, and it was a 2-0 ball game, and that's not good enough.
You talk about lack of run production. We saw Luis Arraez getting traded. Do you think that that's coming back to haunt them a little bit with how well he's doing down in Miami?
Well, I think it's one of those trades because Louis, a high-profile guy, right? A reigning batting champion. Pablo Lopez, considered to be one of the better younger pitchers in baseball. So I'm fighting the urge, and I hope Twins fans are too, fighting the urge to evaluate this trade now. We're just 2.5 months into the first year after the trade. The Twins re-signed Lopez to a very lucrative long-term deal. That won't happen, I don't think, with the Marlins and Arraez. But you can't help but be happy for Louis because he's one of my favorite Twins that I've covered through all these years. I consider him a friend. I don't think anyone thought he was going to be hitting 400, but he is. And so the Marlins, as a result of that, have found themselves really where the Twins expected they would be. 10, 11 games above 500. contending now in the National League East. And we'll see how this first year after the trade plays out. But I know the Marlins are thrilled with it so far.
You talk about how they need more production in their hitting. You talked about Byron Buxton, Correa. Is there anyone on this roster that you could see that could, create this Luis Arraez production for the Twins right now?
Well, we've seen Edward Julian be kind of a rise type player, only with more pop. He's not going to hit 400, and Julian may never hit 300. But he's a left-handed hitter who uses the whole field and has some power, particularly to the opposite field. So I think Twins fans are excited about what they've seen from him, and Royce Lewis also with 2 hits and a home run in the ball game last night. But we've got to be careful in not overhyping the expectations. These are young guys,
right,
who, between the two of them have 150 major league at bats, something like that. So let's let them develop. Let's not count too heavily on them. But they've frankly had some of the better at bats through this bad stretch for the Twins, much better approaches at the plate than some of the veterans.
I'm glad you mentioned Edward Julian because I was just doing some research and I was seeing some articles comparing him to Juan Soto. Just saying he looks like a veteran at the plate. He has a 16.7% chase rate. What allows him to be so disciplined?
Well, he's got a good eye at the plate. He draws a lot of walks. Now, his strikeout totals are higher than he would like, but again, with more exposure to big league pitching, that number should come down. He's just an interesting guy from, Quebec City. Didn't speak English until he learned it on campus at Auburn University.
Wow.
Spoke just French. And can you imagine learning a language at a university from your professors and your fellow students and all that? But he's an interesting ball player. He needs to work very hard on his defense. That's a very important part of his game that he needs to improve. He's not real good at second base. We've seen Royce Lewis make some errors at third base. So both players are intriguing hitters, but they need to work on to be, assets on both the top half and the bottom half of innings.
You mentioned third base. That's been a little bit of an issue for the Twins. Do you see them making a switch at some point coming up soon?
Well, Jose Miranda has figured some things out with the St. Paul Saints. I can see them bringing Miranda to the Twins because he's got a lot of pop, and he was counted on to be a fixture in the middle of the lineup based on what he had done last year. But then what do you do with Royce Lewis? It's I think, a situation where it's one or the other, unless somebody gets hurt. Correa got hurt last year. That's what brought Lewis to the big leagues in the first place. I don't think the Twins want that. They're counting on Carlos staying in the lineup. But you can't, I don't think, have both Lewis and Miranda on the lineup unless you are going to have Miranda play some at first base, and then that will take time away from Kirilloff, and you don't want that. So it's an interesting situation, and I understand fans wanting the Twins to do something because what we're watching right now isn't very good.
Yeah.
But I don't know that third base is the biggest issue they have. Royce Lewis, I think, is going to be just fine, and maybe Miranda can help at another position down the road.
Besides hitting, what do you think is the biggest issue for the Twins?
Well, I think that's it. They've got some bullpen issues. Jorge Lopez now has been put on the 15-day injured list, dealing with some mental issues. And Brent Hedrick, who the Twins were counting on, had a really bad inning last night. Griffin Jacks has turned his season around. The Twins have maybe the best closer in the game, Joan Duran, but unless you can score some runs, that's almost a wasted asset. So we'll have to wait and see whether the Twins lineup can start generating some early runs and let the manager manage the bullpen and put the ball in the hands of the relievers that he has trust in.
We've pretty much touched on all the positions, but I'm interested to hear about Byron Buxton. He's been struggling a little bit since coming back from his injury. When do you think we will see him return to the outfield?
Well, I don't know that that's going to happen, and I know that's a hot topic in Twins territory. He is going through an awful lot of pain just to get ready to play as a designated hitter. The knee issue didn't go away through the surgery in the off season. I think it's beyond his knee now. I think there are some other issues with his legs and hip and back and all that. The Twins front office and management team, they're pretty smart. They know that he, when healthy, is arguably the best center fielder in the game. So if he were physically able to go out there and play, he would be out there. Rocco Baldelli said as much yesterday, but he can't. And what's really hurting him right now, being limited as a designated hitter is one thing, but he has had periods, I think 3 of them now, where he just has looked lost at the plate. But because his lower half isn't cooperating, he can't sit in the cage for 45 minutes and work on things to try to find his swing. And, you know, the great hitters are able to do that, really work hard in the cage, whether it's flips off a tee, whatever, until they find something. Physically, he can't do that. And maybe again last night we saw an encouraging sign. He got a base hit in his first at bat, drew a walk, and then hit a home run in his final at bat. So we'll wait and see what happens and how this plays out. But the Twins need him in the lineup as a productive hitter. And obviously when you're on the injured list, that can't happen.
Right.
But he's had a tough time coming back from injuries recently, simply because he can't put the work in that most hitters are able to put in to find their swing.
Well, like you said, we saw a positive sign last night. So hopefully that becomes a trend and we keep seeing those positive signs with Byron Buxton. We're going to take a quick break. Dick's going to stick around for another 15 minutes and we'll continue to talk about the Twins right after this.
Gelman told me we're doing a remote in Palm Springs.
Is that true?
Well, we're working on it. Did you see how I just shocked you?
Yeah, that was amazing.
No.
He just looked up.
Next live. Move over, Mark. Ryan Seacrest joins Kelly as a guest host with Zoe Saldana.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Plus Randall Park and Shootsy Katwa.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. Send your weather-related photos or video to the WDAY Storm Tracker team. Contact weather@wday.com or share them with us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping an eye on the sky. The WDAY Storm Tracker team.
This is a murder mystery of epic proportions.
You get this picture of a jealous guy, thinks she's got a lover, and bang, she's dead.
What possessed you to do that?
Could this be a murder for hire? When you've got something that was this bad,
somebody's got to pay.
Dateline.
Weekdays at 1 p.m.
Thanks for buying a fishing license.
What the?
I know, but listen. I want you to picture all the great things this simple purchase does. Like building public boat ramps, keeping local waters clean so families can fish and swim, and maintaining a healthy fish population.
What's Mom doing?
It also provides fishing education and activities for the kids, and funds long-term plans to protect our lakes and streams.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Did he?
When you buy a fishing license, you do a lot, because every dollar from a license purchase protects and maintains your local waterways for future generations to enjoy. Learn more at takemefishing.org.
Sorry, I'm out sick again. I just can't shake this fever.
Spread by mosquito bites, West Nile virus is found in nearly every state across the country.
Elena had another asthma attack. She's really sad to miss school again.
Asthma, a leading chronic illness among children and youth in the U.S., can often be triggered by allergens from household pests.
Hi, Chief. I finally got a diagnosis. It's Lyme disease. I'll be out for a few days, maybe longer.
Every year, nearly 300,000 people nationwide are diagnosed with Lyme disease, an illness from tick bites.
Coach, I'm at the hospital. I got stung by something and had a bad allergic reaction. I'm not going to make the game.
Stinging insects send more than 500,000 people to the emergency room every year. Don't let pests force you to take a sick day. Learn how to protect yourself and your family at pestworld.org.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Every crime scene has secrets.
Every victim has an untold story.
And within every mystery lies the truth.
Our job is to find it. The original true crime series, Dateline.
Weekdays at 1 p.m.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great start to their Wednesday morning. Dick Bremer now joins me on Hot Mic. I was telling Dick before he came on that I finally was able to make it out to Target Field, but I made a huge mistake, Dick. I did not get a brat while I was there, and I know you love the brats.
Yeah, oh yeah, I haven't had one for a while, but at Target Field they've got such a wide variety of food now. I know fans come hopefully to watch baseball, but it's quite a dining experience now too.
Well, I didn't get any food, which I don't know what I was doing the whole time. It was so hot that day; I was just chugging waters the whole time. But the Twins did win, so maybe I got to make another trip out there soon.
And pack your bags. Maybe you should come on the road trip with the Twins too.
Oh, I will happily do that. That would be such a fun time. We were just talking a little bit about the AL Central. What are your thoughts on this division, Dick?
Well, the way the Twins have played lately, it really is sad for me that it's been a missed opportunity to not clinch the division, of course, but you've got the Tigers right now that are 10 games, I believe, below 500. The White Sox are 11. I think everyone figured that it would be Cleveland and Minnesota. Mm-hmm. But those teams have really, really struggled. But because the Twins now have struggled, they've kept hope alive in Chicago and in Detroit, even though the teams haven't played good baseball at all, much worse baseball than the Twins have played this year. And if the Twins had simply been playing 500 baseball for the last month and a half, whatever, which isn't too much to ask, by the way, if they had simply done that, those teams would be thinking about how to unplug from this season and think ahead to next year and trade some players to, get some younger players to help rebuild the teams that were so disappointing this year. But the fact of the matter is, as poorly as they played, the Twins haven't gone ahead and taken advantage of the opportunity to put some distance between themselves and Detroit and Chicago. So it's essentially a 4-team race in the division, and it's not trending right now in the right direction for the Twins because Cleveland's played better than the Twins lately, and now they're just a game out of first.
When do you think, or when are you hoping things will start clicking for the Twins and they will be able to pull away?
Well, there's some practical things that I think need to happen. They're averaging over 10 strikeouts a game, and you can't, in my opinion, consistently have put pressure on the other team offensively with that many strikeouts. They're playing the Red Sox right now, and they have struck out, the Twins have, nearly 200 times more than the Red Sox have. So you take the number of games and you realize that's 3 more strikeouts per game than the Red Sox are guilty of. And I think we see now why the Red Sox have caught fire here. They scored 10 runs, but the first 8 runs last night were without a home run. So if you put the ball in play, good things will happen. And Bailey Ober talked about some of the hits that the Red Sox got last night against them, including the 3 that produced the 3rd run against them. None of them were hit hard, but if you don't strike out, if you put the ball in play, good things will happen. They got a leadoff double yesterday from Brian Jeffers, I believe, advanced him to 3rd with a ground ball, but then the next 2 guys struck out. So that's kind of in a nutshell how this Twins lineup has performed so far in the first half.
Well, they still have 2 more games with the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are the worst in the American League East, but they're just blowing the Twins out of the water. What makes them such a dynamic team?
Well, I think we've seen the fact that they have good at-bats up and down the lineup, too. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Allergies. 2 nights ago, wasn't the middle of their lineup that did all the destruction against the Twins. It was the top and bottom of the lineup, and that's the ideal for every team. So, yeah, this team will start doing better when Correa and Buxton are doing their thing in the middle of the Twins lineup. But then there will need to be what we've seen from the Red Sox. Justin Turner was the guy who kind of got the Red Sox lineup going. Well, now Verdugo and all the other guys have contributed, and the lineup is clicking, meaning it really doesn't matter when your inning comes up to hit where the lineup is, whether it's the 7th place hitter or the 2nd place hitter. The dugout feels pretty good that they got a chance to score some runs. That's where the Twins need to get to. But again, it will start with better at bats up and down the lineup, particularly from the guys in the middle who are paid a lot of money to produce runs.
Hopefully we'll see that tonight. Some news broke yesterday that George Frazier has passed away. Can you tell us a little bit about the legacy that he left with the Minnesota Twins?
Well, his final year in the big leagues was 1987. I'm wearing my 1987
I noticed that.
Golf shirt. Yeah, George was a reliever on that team. And then just a few years later, he was one of my broadcast partners in 1993. So I was very sad to hear that George passed away. And then, you start thinking, okay, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it's been, a good little while since the Twins won their World Series, 32 years, 33 years, whatever. And we've lost 4 members from that team, Joe Niekro, Don Baylor, George Frazier, and, of course, Kirby Puckett. So a sad day for the Twins. He only pitched for the Twins for about a year and a half. But I think anybody who was on that 87 team is still revered throughout Twins territory.
Do you have a favorite memory with him during your broadcast time together?
He was kind of an off-the-wall guy. He spoke what was on his mind, whether it was broadcast appropriate or not. He spoke his mind, and I appreciated that as a play-by-play guy. And then later, after leaving the Twins, he hooked up with the Rockies and did games there for like 25 years. So he had a great broadcasting career, and one could argue his broadcasting career might even have been better than his playing career. But he got to pitch in the World Series, both for the Yankees and the Twins, and got a World Series ring with our guys in '87.
He's got to keep you on your toes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of broadcasting, Father's Day was on Sunday, and your son is following in your footsteps, calling some games. What is that like for you to kind of be the example for your son?
Well, I don't know that I am, and he would tell you he's trying to make his own footprints, and I appreciate that too. But yeah, he's in the same profession. He's in the family business, if you will, and he's been at it for quite a while. He made me a father on Father's Day back in 1995.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so he's 28 years old now. He's been doing minor league baseball for 6 years. He's done baseball in Australia for a couple of winters. He's got a pretty good resume.
Yeah.
He's in Pensacola right now, which is the AA team for the Miami Marlins. And almost as much as he hopes he gets to the big league someday, so do I.
You talk about him creating his own path and being different from you. How do your broadcast styles differ?
Oh, every once in a while when I listen, I'll hear a phrase that I know that I use. His voice doesn't sound anything like mine, and this is a really important thing for him and a good thing for him. He doesn't look anything like me, so that's in his favor as well. But he loves baseball and has loved it since he was a kid. Has heard me do a lot of games, but he's also heard a lot of other great broadcasters, and that's what you need to do in this business: is find your own voice and your own cadence, your own style. He's done that. He's done that very successfully, I think.
I think in broadcasting, that's honestly the hardest thing, is finding your own style and sticking with it. When do you think you were able to discover that for yourself?
Well, I grew up in Minnesota and listened to some really great announcers: Herb Carneal with the Twins, Ray Christensen with the Gophers, the Al Shaver for the Minnesota North Stars. We lived in Missouri for a while and I listened to Harry Carey and Jack Buck there. So you're like everybody else. There are certain announcers you like, certain announcers you don't like things about them. And you, I guess, try to become a hybrid of all the announcers that you've heard that you like, and then inject your own personality into it and hope that it's appreciated by the viewers or listeners.
Definitely. And I know that you are a personality that everyone loves to hear on the Twins broadcast. All right. Twins, Red Sox tonight. 2 more games in the series. Give us 3 keys, Dick.
Well, we need the Twins need Sonny Gray to pitch his type of game again tonight. He was taken out, he thought, prematurely in his last start in this homestand. So I'm guessing he's ready, more than ready, to take the mound here tonight and give the Twins a good ball game. And then tomorrow it's a noon game with Joe Ryan. And Joe Ryan, one of the best pitchers in the league. So the Twins have that going for them. And maybe the flurry of hits and home runs late in the game will carry over in today, and the Twins can win the last couple games of this homestand.
Hopefully they can get the hitting together. That would be a nice surprise for all the Twins fans. Dick, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Really appreciate it.
You got it, Logan.
Good luck on the broadcast. All right, everyone. Dick Bremer, as always, we appreciate all of his insights on everything Twins. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the newest commit for NDSU football will join me on Hot Mic. You're watching on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Inforum.com.
Dan and Shay with special guest Kip Moore, live on July 7th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@wday.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday this week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
True craftsmanship takes time. Starting in the field, to the distillation and perfect aging. Creating the perfect spirit is hard work. Selecting it? That's easy at Happy Harry's Bottle Shops.
The summer stock-up sale is on now through June 21st.
Please use our products in moderation.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
In this job, you take your eye off it for 1 second. People can die.
Don't think. Just do it.
We're gonna get her out.
Here we go.
Hey, slow breath.
I'm a firefighter, and I will always be a firefighter.
Did a great thing today.
It's all because of you.
Weekdays at 7 p.m. and 12:05 a.m.
The end of hunger and poverty starts here. Your gift of an animal from Heifer International can help a family start a small business, creating food and income for education, medicine, and more, all while caring for the earth. At Heifer International, we help small-scale farmers achieve living incomes through economic development and private sector partnerships. We empower communities by creating women's groups, farmers associations, and cooperatives that strengthen social support networks. And we teach sustainable, earth-friendly agriculture that minimizes environmental impact and reduces the carbon footprint around the world and right here at home. Heifer International. Learn more at heifer.org.
Third Eye Blind, live on July 8th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I cannot believe it's the final half hour of the show, but I'm now joined by the newest commit for NDSU football. Class of 2024 finally got their quarterback, and it is Ryan Bowe. Ryan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. First of all, you are driving back to Illinois from Fargo right now. How was your time here in Fargo?
Oh, it was good. It was fun. All the coaches they make it a really good time. They're all really nice, so it was a good time.
So was this your first time here, or have you been here before?
I was here for a junior day back in I think February.
Okay.
So then I came back up with my mom this time.
Okay. So you have made it officially, putting out on Twitter that you are committing to NDSU. Why NDSU? What made you want to come here?
For like the coaches, all the coaches like Coach Hedberg, Coach Ants, Coach Roll, they're all really like nice. They make it feel like a family. And then just by like what I've heard about the culture, it really feels like Batavia a little bit. So
what's similar between NDSU and Batavia?
It's just like football's kind of like family. Football's kind of like the life. Like everything's like supports football. So
NDSU has produced some NFL caliber quarterbacks over the years. What have your conversations with quarterbacks coach Randy Hedberg been like?
It's just been a lot about just like the play, like some of the playbook, some stuff like that. Just what to expect when I get up there. That's really been the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Have you talked to Coach Entz at all?
Yeah. I've talked to him a couple of times. I talked to him. He was the first one I told that I was committing, so that was exciting. But yeah, I've been talking to him a little bit. Yeah.
What was the reaction from him when you told him?
Well, there's like all the coaches were kind of like outside of his door, and he opens the door and he's like, "We got a bison." So, and everybody started getting all excited. So
that's
that
so awesome.
Cool.
When you hear the reaction while you're on the other side of the phone, how does that make you feel?
It was really cool. Got me really excited. Yeah, it was just exciting.
Since you put it out on social media, what has the reaction been from your family, friends, and teammates in high school?
Just a lot of like congrats. Yeah, it's just a lot of people text me saying congrats, like good job. Some people that are in college right now are texting me, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a lot of congratulations.
Have you heard from anyone that's currently on the team?
No, not. I mean, I've heard from some of like the other commits from class of 24. But actually, when I was up there, when I committed with Coach Entz, there was a couple players that were up there, so they gave me a congratulations. But
who are those guys that you have been talking to that's in your class?
There was I think it was Steele. His last name was Steele. I could check the group chat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple other guys.
I think you might have cut out there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, there's just a group chat they made. I could check real quick.
You don't have to check. Don't worry about that.
There's Coy. Oh.
Coy Okeson?
Yeah. But yeah, there's just a group chat they added me. Yeah, they added me to it last night.
That's awesome that you guys are already getting in touch and starting to build that bond and relationship together. Ryan, tell us a little bit about your play style as a quarterback.
Like I would just go off like my strengths, which would be like arm strength kind of, and being able to extend plays with my legs and stuff. So, I definitely have that pocket presence. Have the football IQ, I would say. Yeah, I would say that's basically.
When you were talking with Hedberg, where is he hoping to see you develop the most?
I think he really just wants me to get into the playbook a little bit more. Just start learning the plays. Just developing I guess the timing with everything. Just kind of getting caught up to college speed. I would say that's probably the most important.
Mm-hmm. And Batavia High School is not an unfamiliar face to NDSU. Luke Wirtz played at your high school. Have you talked to him at all, and how helpful will that be, having just a familiar face here once you get to Fargo?
I talked to him, I think a month ago. I called him, just talked to him a little bit about it. And it's definitely helpful because it's someone that's been through it all can help me with anything. So yeah, it'll definitely be a big help.
Definitely. What are you looking forward to the most, Ryan?
I'm just excited. I'm just excited for football. Just get up there when I can. Excited to start playing with everybody.
Yeah. You still have a year of high school left. What are you hoping to accomplish in your final year?
Get a ring, win state would definitely be the goal. We made it to the state game last year, didn't finish it, but hopefully this year we can get the ring.
Hopefully this year you'll be able to accomplish that. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Drive safe back to Illinois.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Ryan Bowe, the quarterback for the class of 2024 for NDSU. So great getting to hear from him and all of the commits for NDSU football. Speaking of commits, though, NDSU baseball also got one last night. Colton Becker. They got two last night. The first one is Colton Becker. He went to Iowa Central Community College. There's a little pipeline coming from Iowa Community College up to NDSU. So he is the first one. Eric, send me the second one. I didn't. Austin Burgum is the second one. He's also from Iowa Central Community College. So two teammates are making their way up to Fargo. That's something I've noticed about NDSU is that they always get, for baseball, they always get brothers or, teammates. They go from one team to the next. We saw it with, I think it was Cade Feeney and Skylar. Maybe it wasn't Cade Feeney, but two Bismarck kids came together. They played baseball and football together, and the connection just continues to grow within the baseball community. Even with football, we see lots of former teammates coming together here at NDSU, brothers coming together. And I think that's special. And like everyone says when they commit here, is a family feel. And I don't think you get that everywhere. You don't get that everywhere. So I think that's really cool that the community and the culture that NDSU is building with all of their programs. All right, we're going to take our last break of the day, and we will get you all on your way. You've been watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Inforum.com.
On the next Tamron Hall, she's the actor and singer currently setting the internet on fire. Chloe Bailey is back with the Tam Fam, and a lot has happened since the last time she was on the show, to say the least. From her much talked about role in the show Swarm to her successful solo hits, Chloe Bailey is that girl. Plus how Chloe and Hallie continue to support each other as they take the world by storm. An intimate conversation with Chloe Bailey you don't want to miss next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
On the next Tamron Hall, she's the actor and singer currently setting the internet on fire. Chloe Bailey is back with the Tam Fam, and a lot has happened since the last time she was on the show, to say the least. From her much talked about role in the show Swarm to her successful solo hits, Chloe Bailey is that girl. Plus how Chloe and Hallie continue to support each other as they take the world by storm. An intimate conversation with Chloe Bailey you don't want to miss next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Are you a great pie baker? If so, we'd like to consider you for the second annual Home of Economy Grand Forks Herald Pie Bake-Off, a 16-person tournament that seeks to find the best bakers in the greater Grand Forks region. Last year's winner took home $1,000. Will you be the next champion? The award-winning Pie Bake-Off will begin in August and will be judged by a panel that includes professional chefs. To be considered, send an email to pie@gfherald.com or call 701-780-1100.
By popular demand, the West Fargo Drink Card is back. The West Fargo Drink Card gets you 4 drinks each at 13 participating West Fargo area bars and restaurants. The card value is $364. Your price? Just $60. The West Fargo Drink Card goes on sale Thursday, June 22nd at 8 a.m. To get yours, head to WDAY.com and click on the Deals tab. Purchase limit 5 cards per person. Some restrictions apply. The West Fargo Drink Card on sale Thursday, June 22nd at 8 a.m. at WDAY.com. Click on the Deals tab.
This Christmas, more than 1 in 10 Americans live in poverty. A grandmother chooses between heat and her medication. A man, cold and stoic, silently cries for help. A mother skips a meal, so her child gets an extra helping. This year, Catholic Charities will serve more than 15 million people. Join us as we lift our sisters and brothers in need. Get involved at reducepoverty.org.
I forgot we're coming out on me. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. It's been so fun hosting this show all week. I've had the best time, but Dom Izzo is back in the studio tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching and bearing with me for 2 hours every day to kickstart your day. Hopefully we're able to start it on a great note. So I've talked about this a little bit, but I played soccer growing up. That was my sport. I played super competitively up until my senior year of high school, and then I was just so over it. Didn't want to play anymore, but I love watching it. It's one of my favorite sports to watch. And last week and earlier this week, I have been just saying every single show, watch it. It's not boring. You need to start watching it. Eric just said perfect time for a nap. Haha. Anyways, we are a month out from the Women's World Cup, which I'm stoked about. The Women's World Cup, especially the women's U.S. national team, is hands down one of the best teams in the country. Well, they are the best team in, and I'm not just saying that because they're from the United States. It's a fact. It's proven. But yeah, well, I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, they're one of the best teams in the country. And they have finally released their roster. So, drum roll, please. Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, Kelly O'Hara named to their 4th Women's World Cup. Queens. Legends. Gosh, I just love them so much. And I'm so excited because Julie Ertz, she's the blonde one in the middle. Right above that first goalie on the bottom row. That's Julie Ertz, married to Zach Ertz. She was my favorite player growing up. She plays defense. She played center back. That's what I played, center back. And I loved her, wanted to be her, modeled my play after her. She's smart. She's aggressive. She knows where to distribute the ball. Love her. She's back on the roster. She hasn't been on it because she's been having babies. So I'm so excited that she's back. I'm also looking at this roster. And I guess it's time for a little story time, but I'm looking at this roster and I see a familiar name on there. And this girl's name is Emily Fox. And I was like, wow, this kind of makes me look like a failure. So Emily Fox is a girl that I played against pretty much every single week growing up. Our travel teams were rivals. I grew up in Northern Virginia, and it's just so competitive in every sport. So I went to Herndon High School. She went to Centerville High School. And so we were in the same district. We were like probably 15 minutes away from each other. And we literally would get put up against each other every single weekend. It was like a brawl every single time we played against each other. But she is on this list, and I will never forget this. So I did not play soccer in college. I was burnt out by my senior year. I was just so over it because my high school coach liked to play games. And so let me just toot my horn a little bit. I made varsity my freshman year and played and started every single game as center back starting my freshman year on my high school team. And let me preface by saying high school is completely different from travel, just competitiveness wise, and my coach was just a mess. But Emily played center, mid, and forward for her high school team, which is funny because she plays defense now, and she played defense at UNC. So I played center back, left center back, and the game plan every time we played Centerville was that I had to be on Emily Fox. I don't know why me, but I was the chosen one to go up against her because everyone knew she was getting D1 recruits literally since like 8th grade. So she was a phenomenal player. And so every time we'd go up against each other, it would just be like, you talk smack here and there, but we were friends. Like we were friends on and off the field, but once you're playing, you kind of push that aside and you go up against each other. And I will never forget. So every single year we just knew we were going to see each other. Whether that was in travel or high school. But high school, my senior year, halfway through the season, which is when you start getting into district play, my coach decided to move me from center back to midfield, which, if you know soccer, that's kind of a big adjustment, especially with how much you run, and I hate running. And he wouldn't take me out of the game, so I was just so exhausted by the time 90 minutes were up, sometimes 90 minutes plus. And I will never forget this. We played Centerville the first time, and I was running past her because the ball was on our end. She came up to me, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Why are you at midfield?" And I was like, "Oh, well, Coach Stames moved me here." And she was like, "Why would he do that your final year?" And I was like, "Dude, I have no idea." And then so the person that he put in center back was a freshman who has never played against Emily Fox in her entire life. And Emily looks at me, she goes, "Okay." She goes, "That was probably the worst thing they could have ever done because I'm going to have a field day against this girl." And she did. We lost 4-0. I will never forget that. And that's probably the biggest compliment I've ever had from someone who's now on the women's national team. She said I was a good opponent against her. Too bad my athletic career peaked in high school. What could have been? What could have been? And I have a million stories about my high school coach. That's a story for another time, but he really just ruined my experience, which is so sad. So sad. And I've been missing having this athletic outlet. Sometimes I do miss playing. I mean, I don't regret not playing in college at all. I loved my time in college, but now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, I wish I had something I can do to get all this energy out of me, because I'm sure you can tell I have so much energy just built up inside of me. So me and Rachel Herzog, our weekend anchor, started playing pickleball on Tuesdays, which is so fun. I don't know if you guys have played pickleball before. It's like tennis, but it's like tennis and ping pong mixed together on a shorter court. We literally play for hours. It is so fun. But our problem is we need people to play against. We want to do doubles. So if anyone out there plays pickleball, let me know so we can play you. Let us know because we want to start playing. We are two super competitive people. She played D1 hockey at St. Cloud. So we just have this huge competitive nature inside of us. And we would like to start playing pickleball. We want to start playing a pickleball tournament. We should start one. You know what? I should start one. Me and Kolpak had talked about playing against each other. That would be hilarious. If me and Kolpak do end up playing each other, we should televise it. Stacy, if you are watching, can we make this a thing? I think I would put my money on Kolpak though. He said he was really good, but then he said he had back surgery. I think that would be hilarious. If we're not going to televise it, we can do a live stream. People can place bets. I'd put my money on Kolpak probably. But yeah, pickleball is awesome. You guys should check it out. But the paddles are expensive. We got ours for like $20 at Target, but we were looking online, like $80 paddles. Who is spending that much money? I mean, I guess if it's something you play a lot, yeah, it's good to invest. Maybe at some point we'll get there, but we're good with our $20 paddles. But it was so fun. We play every Tuesday. We did it yesterday for like 3 hours. And I don't know why we chose to do it yesterday because it was so hot outside. Sweating a lot. But it was fun. And we saw that there was 2 couples next to us playing. We're like, oh, we should probably get some other people to play with us. Expand our social circle just a little bit. All right, that's enough women's soccer talk for today. Like I said, the World Cup begins July 20th. It's down in Australia or New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand. So time difference is going to be a little bit of a doozy, but I will be up watching like I am every single World Cup. Because it only happens every 4 years. You know, you gotta do it. All right, let's take a look at what's to watch today. You know, I've been doing this for a week, and you think I would remember that comes up. We just had Dick Bremer on to talk about the Twins and the Red Sox. Hopefully, they can turn the hitting around, put up some runs. That's today at 6:40 on Bally Sports North. Our beloved Oral Roberts was eliminated last night. No. Their magical run has come to an end. Florida, TCU, playing today at 1 p.m. I will be watching that. College World Series has been so fun. Last night's games, though, were the worst games out of this whole entire weekend. Yeah, so today we got Florida, TCU at 1, Wake Forest, LSU at 6. Since the Golden Eagles are out, I think I got to go with Wake Forest. Got to go with the ACC teams. I'm an ACC girl growing up in Virginia. I know they're the top seed. I know that they're the favorites. But I just don't have an emotional draw to anyone. So I guess we'll go with Wake Forest. Like I said, Dom Izzo will be back from vacation tomorrow. Thank you guys for putting up with me for the last week. I had so much fun hosting the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching 2 hours of me. Big thank you to all my guests that have come on within this past week. You've been watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL, and Inforum.com.
Jelly Roll with special guest Trey Lewis, live July 9th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Who let the dogs out? Laney's has, and the 2-for-Deal special is back. If your furnace and air conditioner are over 10 years old, it's possible they've gone to the dogs. They're more prone to roll over and break down, and they're also a lot less efficient. Let Laney's help you fetch a free air conditioner with their 2-for-Deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a qualifying Coleman high-efficiency furnace, you will receive a Coleman air conditioning unit free. Call Laney's for details. The dog days of summer will be here before you know it.
828 is just great.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found the path to recovery that worked for me. Treatment helped me come to terms with the issues in my life that caused me to use drugs. And I found better ways to cope. Learning I had a substance use disorder helped me realize I needed to make a change. The road to recovery is different for everyone. There were good days and bad days. But I found strength in seeking help. My friends and family made a huge difference in my recovery. I never gave up. I found my path, and I keep walking it every day. Find the path that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Flo Rida with special guest Yin Yang Twins. Live July 10th at the Red River Valley Fair on the Titan Machinery stage in the all-finished concrete grandstand. It's the 10 best days of summer. Tickets on sale now at redrivervalleyfair.com.
Happy Wednesday. I look outside in downtown Fargo and a lot more clouds than there have been the past couple of days. There are some weak or dying showers on satellite and radar. I'll show you where those are and where they're headed next. Before, it's going to be a warm day for some of us, and then a few more scattered storms later on today. But some of us, it is a cool day. It just depends on what side of the front you are. And we'll talk about a weekend rain chance. If you missed out on this chance of rain, there's more rain coming up in the weekend, or a possibility of rain chances in the weekend. We'll talk about it coming up on WDAY News at 11. That starts right now.